Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be showing you how to use the CRS calculator and calculate your CRS score. In case you don't know, CRS means Comprehensive Ranking System, and this is the tool you use for the Express Entry if you want to come to Canada using Express Entry. So the first thing we're going to do is type in CRS calculator into Google. On my Google homepage right now, it pops up as the first thing, and it should also pop up as the first thing on your Google homepage. So I'm going to click on this, and we all know, well, maybe not all of us, but Express Entry is a point-based system, and it's based on different factors giving you points. For Express Entry, your skills, your education, your language ability, your work experience, and some other factors are what you use to get points. This is just like you simulating what your score is going to be. I would use my profile and maybe some two other profiles just to give you an idea of how you're going to fill out this form. So first, to qualify for the Express Entry program, you need to have at least 1 year work experience in NOC 0, A or B. So at least 1 year skilled work experience. So it's just very easy. We're just going to answer the questions and that is going to help us. So let us start. The first question is, what is your marital status? I said I'm going to use my profile, so I'm going to go with single since I'm a single girl. For how old are you? I'm going to pick my age. I'm 26 years of age. Now we need to know that between 18 and 29, you get the highest point, but once you're past 30, your point starts to drop. What is your level of education? This says enter the highest level of education for which you've earned a Canadian degree or diploma or education credential assessment. So if you studied outside of Canada, it's also valid. For this one, there is secondary school diploma, there's 1 year program, there's 2 year program, there's bachelor's, there's 2 or more certificates, and there's master's professional degree, and the last one that gives the highest point is PhD. I have a master's degree, so I'm going to go with master's degree. The next question is 4B, and it says, have you earned a Canadian degree, diploma, or certificate? And the answer is yes for me because I have a Canadian degree. And then 4C will tell you to choose what describes this level of education that you've earned. And mine is a degree. So in the other simulation that we're going to do, we are going to use a foreign degree. When we use that foreign degree, we would see that 4C would not pop up since it's not a Canadian degree. And then the fifth question is going to test our language skills. It's telling us Canada's official languages are English and French. And you need to submit a test result that is less than 2 years old for the Express Entry programs, even if it's English or French. And so the first question it asks is, are your test results less than 2 years old? And the answer would be yes. What language did you take the test, the official exam? I took IELTS. You can also take CELPIP. I think CELPIP is only conducted inside of Canada. I took IELTS General Training. TEF Canada and TCF Canada are French exams. If French is your first language, or if you have French, if you can speak French, I'm sure you probably would write this exam. But I'm going to choose what my score was when I wrote my IELTS exam. And in my speaking, I had 7.5. You can see that the highest band is 7.5 to 9. So if you have 9, you will get the same band as someone who has 7.5. In my listening, I had 9. Also the same for listening. 8.5 to 9 is the highest band. In my reading, I had 8.5. And you see 8 to 9 is the highest band for reading. And in my writing, I had 7. Next question says, do you have other language results? No, I didn't take any other language results. So I'm going to put not applicable. So the next segment is based on work experience. So I'm going to use my foreign work experience that I have, since this one is more tailored towards people who are outside of Canada, who would be applying majorly with the federal skilled worker stream. That is with foreign work experience. So it says here, in the last 10 years, how many years of skilled work experience do you have in Canada? You must be paid and full-time. In Canada, NOC is the official list. You need to have NOC 0, A, or B. So I'm going to choose none. If you have Canadian work experience in this place, you're going to choose yes. I'm going to do another simulation with somebody that has Canadian work experience. Then the next question will say, in the last 10 years, how many total years of foreign work experience do you have? And I'm going to pick 1 year. The next question says, do you have a certificate of qualification from a Canadian province, territory, or federal body? And the answer to this would be no, because I don't have any certificate of qualification from a Canadian province. Then the next question says, do you have a valid job offer supported by the labor market impact assessment? The answer to this would also be no. Even though I had a job in Canada at that point, but it is no because my job is not supported by LMI. So the answer would be no. This one says, do I have a nomination certificate from a province or territory? Also, the answer to this would be no. And this one says, do you or your spouse or common law, if they will come with you to Canada, have at least one brother or sister living in Canada who is a citizen or permanent resident? If the answer is yes, the brother or sister must be 18 years of age, related to you by blood, marriage, common law, adoption. The brother or sister can be by blood, by adoption, or by marriage. So if you have a sibling here in Canada who is a permanent resident or citizen, a sibling or your partner's sibling, they can give you an extra 15 points. But because I do not have anyone, I do not have any sibling here in Canada, I'm going to pick no. And then all I just have to do is calculate my score. So here is my result. It says here that the score is usually out of 1,200. For age, I have 110, which is the highest. Level of education, I have 135. That is not the highest because the highest is a PhD. For official languages, I have 133, and that's because I only speak English. If I was to have French as a second language, I would get extra points. For Canadian work experience, I have 0 because remember when I was filling the form, I chose that I do not have Canadian experience. So for my core and human capital factors, I have 378 points. For spouse, because I don't have a spouse, so a spouse does not contribute or take anything out of my points. The next one is skill transferability factors. It says education first, official language proficiency and education 50. Foreign work experience, my foreign work experience is 25. That's because I only have 1 year work experience. If I have more than 1 year work experience, my points would increase. And then for additional points, for studying in Canada, I get 30 additional points for studying in Canada. Together, it says here that my comprehensive ranking system formula grand total came up to 483 points. So when I had my profile in 2019, my points was 483. And this is, even right now, 483 is an excellent score. At the end of the day, I didn't apply for my permanent residency through Express Entry because I had another option. But this is basically what my points looked like in 2019 using my own situation. Next one that I'm going to do would be another simulation. I will do the person as married, and we're going to tweak some other things to see how it's going to work. We are going to use a young couple because I see that a lot where young couples move to Canada together. So we're going to use a young couple in their early 30s, and let's go. So as their marital status, we're going to choose married. Is your spouse or common law partner a citizen or permanent resident of Canada? The answer would be no. Will your spouse or common law partner come with you to Canada? And the answer for that will be yes. So it said, how old are you? Let's say the main applicant, the principal applicant, is 32 years of age. So as we say, they are young couples, right? What's your level of education? We're going to say they have a master's degree. Have they earned a Canadian diploma, degree, or certificate? The answer for that will be no. You see, here it says, have you earned a Canadian degree or certificate? When we pick no, we didn't get 4C. If I pick yes, 4C is going to pop up. So let's go back to no. Then it says that their official language test is less than 2 years old. The answer would be yes. They also wrote IELTS. Let's give them the max of all of the points because you know they are married, and I'm literally focused on how you can get a big point. No, they do not have any other language test. Work experience, they do not have any Canadian work experience. But in the last 10 years, since this person is 31, 32, they have 3 years or more work experience. So if you have 10 years, it still falls under 3 years or more. They don't have any certificate here. Also, no LMIA, no nomination. You see that it's going to bring up information on their spouse very soon. Do you have a spouse or common law partner, brother living here? We're going to just choose no. See here, what is the highest level of education for which your spouse or common law partner has? I'm going to do something here so that you can see. I'm going to choose here that the spouse would have a degree, would have IELTS, and we'll see the point. And I'm also going to do one where the spouse does not do a credential evaluation and the spouse does not have IELTS exam. And we're going to see how different it's going to be. For married people, if your spouse is not writing English exam or evaluating their degree, you are literally losing points because they are taken out of your points. For example, for master's degree, if you're single, you get 135. If you're married, you get 120 because your partner takes out of your points. So they need to give you back to get it for you to get a better point. So let's choose highest level of education. We're going to choose here that the partner has a bachelor's degree. How many skilled experience they have in Canada? None. Did they take the IELTS exam? Yes, give them CLB 9. So CLB 9 is a minimum of 8 in listening and 7 in all other bands. That is what you guys should at least aim to achieve. 8 in listening, 7 in every other band. That is the minimum you should aim to achieve if you want to be in the pool at this point. So let's give them 7 here, 8 here, another 7 here, another 7 here. Look at it. Let's calculate the score. Says level of education 126, official language 128, age 85. You would see the difference between the first one and the second one. The age here has dropped to 85. The spouse level of education is 8, language is 20, 28. And you see 50. Here also says 50. That's for foreign work experience. I had 25 because I had 1 year. For 3 years max, you get 50 points. In total, they have 467 points, which isn't an entirely bad point. But let's do some tweaking. Let's actually do some tweaking and see. Imagine we say the spouse has a master's degree. From 467, it is going to jump up by 2 points. Not a lot, but 469. This makes a difference. Then let's say here that the spouse has a bachelor's but does not want to evaluate their degree. So let's say none. Also, the spouse has refused to write IELTS. We also put non-applicable. Just look at it. It drops to 439 because your spouse is literally taking points from you but not giving points back to you. They're refusing to have their degrees evaluated if they have one or writing the English exam. See here, it says 439. We're going to put it back and say that the spouse has a bachelor's degree and they have IELTS CLB 9. That's 7 here, that's 8 here, another 7 here, another 7 here. And then we say they have a sibling here in Canada. Yes, from 467, it's going to jump up to 482 because you get an extra 15 points for sibling in Canada, which is good. Right now, the score is 482 with a sibling in Canada. Let's say this person is not 32 years old and they're young, they're 29. 29, 32 is not old too, right? And let's calculate their score. See, it literally goes back to 100 points. And look at them, they're chilling at 497. This is beautiful. And that is just 29 years of age. And then let's also say they have CLB 9. They don't have the highest points. They have CLB 98777, which is what everyone should aim at least to have. And they don't have a sibling here. Their point goes back to 470. So basically, if you're less than 30 years old, if you're 29 and below, you get the highest points. If you have PhD, you get the highest points. If you have a master's degree, you get the second highest point. If you have Canadian education, you get an extra point. If you max out your IELTS, you get high points. If you write French exams and you have CLB 7, you can score 50 extra points. If you have 3 years work experience outside of Canada, you get the highest point. If your spouse is going to be joining you, your best bet is for your spouse to also evaluate their degree and write the English exam so that they can give you back your points that they took from you. Let's take a look at spouse not accompany. I've never actually tried that before. Let's see. Will your spouse or common law come with you to Canada? If we choose a no, let's see if the point changes from 470. It drops to 469 if your spouse is not accompanying you. So if you choose that your spouse is not coming with you, even though you're married, the option where you choose your spouse's education level, their English exam, literally goes away. So for people who are married and do not have sufficient points, if you calculate your score without your spouse coming with you, if you think it's going to get you into the pool and get you PR, if you do not mind being away from your spouse for a bit, because it can take a while for spousal sponsorship to be processed, this is another option for you. Look at this guy chilling at 469 all by himself without any spouse. With a spouse that does not have a bachelor's degree or does not have English exam, it would totally be on a lower score. But take a look at it now. All by himself, he can come to Canada. Then when he's here, he's a little bit settled. He can do a spousal sponsorship for his wife or husband. So anyway, guys, that is just the simulation. I hope you're not confused. It just basically, I'm going to put the link to this CRS calculator in my description box, so you can just play with it. The best way for you to know what score you're going to have is when you play with this. I've been using this CRS calculator even before I wrote my IELTS, so that I can know what to look forward to, what I should get in my exam, what my points should be. So just play with it. If you're married, just answer the questions as it is. Play with it and see what is best for you, and even if you stand a chance. Anyway, guys, thanks so much for watching this how-to video. There's going to be many more how-to videos, but this is the first one. Thank you so much. Do not forget to subscribe to my channel. If this video was helpful to you, like this video, give it a thumbs up, and I'll see you in the next video.